The AWS Savings Plan trap is stealing your money. AWS promises you massive savings with their commitment plans, with a headline number of up to 72% of your compute costs. It sounds like a no-brainer, right? A simple way to slash your bill and look like a hero to your finance department. Here is what they don't shout from the rooftop. This is a double-edged sword. For thousands of companies, this saving strategy has become a financial trap, a hidden tax on their cloud operations. They get locked into paying for capacity they don't use, turning what looked like a discount into a massive financial loss. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how the AWS Savings Plan trap might be quietly stealing your money, and more importantly, how to make sure you're on the right side of this deal. This isn't just about discounts, it is about control, and it is time you took it back. The lure. How AWS gets you hooked, let's be honest. The appeal is enormous. AWS offers two main types of savings plans: compute savings plan, easy to instant savings plan. The promise is simple. Instead of paying the high, unpredictable on-demand rates for services like EC2, Fargate, and Lambda, you commit to a consistent hourly spend for 1 or 3 years. In return, AWS gives you huge discounts, anywhere from 20% to the eye-watering 72%. For any business watching its cloud bill creep up, this seems like a perfect fix. Finance teams love the predictability, and a 72% discount gets everyone's attention. It sells as a flexible, modern upgrade to the older, more rigid reserved instances. AWS even helps you out with recommendations in the Cost Explorer, showing you exactly how much you could save by committing. It feels like free money. You're going to spend it anyway, so why not spend it at a discount? This is the lure. It is a powerful pitch that plays on the universal desire to cut costs and be more efficient. AWS has brilliantly framed this as a simple one: pay full price or get a discount. But that simplicity is an illusion, and it hides a world of financial risk that most companies wander into completely unprepared. The agitation exposing the trap here is where the promise of savings can curdle into a financial nightmare. The trap isn't one single thing. It is a mix of rigid commitments, wishful thinking, and the unforgiving nature of the contract you sign. Once you buy a savings plan, you're committed. While AWS recently introduced a 7-day return window for mistaken purchases. After that, you cannot modify or exchange it. Any money you have committed that you don't use is pure, unrecoverable sunk cost. Let's break down how the trap snaps shut. First, there is the overcommitment penalty. This is the most common brutal way companies lose money. You are billed for our committed hourly spend every single hour for the entire term, whether you use it or not. Think of it like a gym membership for your service. You sign up in January with big ambitions, but when you stop going in March, the gym keeps charging your card. Let's put some real number on this. Let's imagine your team analyzes your usage and commits to $50 per hour, but 6 months later, a brilliant optimization project cuts your actual usage down to just $30 per hour. That unused $20 per hour doesn't get rolled over. You just paid for it for nothing. That's a $480 a day, over $14,000 a month, and staggering $175K a year that just vanished into thin air. This isn't hypothetical. It is a daily reality for countless organizations that commit based on optimistic forecasts instead of their absolute rock-solid baseline usage. Second is the inflexibility trap. Your business isn't static. You modernize and you re-architect. You move to newer, better tech. But your savings plan can be very static. The easy to instant savings plan tempts you with biggest discounts, up to 72%, but locks you into specific instance family and region. So what happens when your engineer wants to migrate from Intel-based C5 instances to the more cost-effective ARM-based Graviton C7G instances? Your C5 savings plan is suddenly useless. You're stuck. Either you stall innovation just to burn through a commitment you've already paid for, or you eat the cost and pay twice. This fear of breaking the commitment strangles innovation. It creates a perverse incentive to avoid smart engineering decisions because the company is financially chained to a past choice. Third, there is the undercommitment problem. The fear of the first two traps often causes the opposite mistake, being too timid. Teams get scared and undercommit, leaving a huge chunk of their workloads running at expensive on-demand rates. While this avoids wasting money on unused commitments, it also leaves massive potential savings on the table. Finding that perfect balance is incredibly difficult, and both extremes lead to financial waste. Finally, there is organizational chaos. So often, the finance team driving the purchase of a savings plan is completely disconnected from the engineers, whose work actually determines its value. Commitments are made based on spreadsheets and high-level guesses, not the technical roadmap. When the architecture changes, finance is left wondering why the savings plan is hemorrhaging money, and engineering is frustrated by the financial handcuffs. It's a perfect recipe for friction and lost cash. The solution? How to disarm the trap. Now that you see the trap, let's talk about how to disarm it. You can absolutely use savings plan to generate huge value, but you have to treat them as an ongoing strategy, not a one and done purchase. Here is a clear, actionable framework. First and most importantly, analyze. Don't guess. Before you even think about committing, become an expert on your own usage. Use tools like AWS Cost Explorer to analyze your historical compute spend over at least 30 to 60 days. You're looking for your baseline usage, the absolute minimum amount of compute you are running 24/7, even on weekends and holidays. This is often called the trough. Do not commit based on your average usage, and definitely not your peak. Committing to the average is a guaranteed way to be the overcommitted half the time. Your only safe bet is that stable, always on portion of your workload. Second, follow the conservative commitment rule. Once you have found your true baseline, don't commit to 100% of it. A safe place to start is committing to only 70 to 80% of that baseline usage. This buffer gives you flexibility. It ensures your commitment is always fully utilized and leaves room for your engineers to experiment or for unexpected spikes without panicking. It is far, far better to have 100% utilization of a smaller commitment than 80% utilization of a larger one. That 20% of waste will often wipe out that extra disk you were chasing. Third, choose the right plan for the job. AWS offers different tools for a reason. If your architecture is rock solid and you're certain you will use the same instance family in the same region for the next few years, an EC2 instance saving plan is a great choice. It will give you the deepest discount up to 72%. However, for most modern evolving applications, the compute saving plan is a far safer and smarter choice. The discount is a bit lower, topping out at around 66%, but its flexibility is priceless. It applies across different instance families, regions, and even covers Fargate and Lambda. That 6% discount you give up is a tiny price for the freedom to modernize your architecture without being punished for it. Finally, remember that set and forget is a recipe for failure. A savings plan is not a fire and forget missile. It is a living part of your financial strategy that needs regular attention. Set calendar reminders, review your utilization and coverage reports every single month. Is your usage still covering your commitment? Has the roadmap changed? As your plans near expiration, you need to rerun your analysis 90 days out to plan your next move. This isn't just a one-time task. It is a continuous cycle of analysis, commitment, and monitoring. If this breakdown was a light bulb moment for you and you want more deep dives into taking back control of your cloud costs, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. I release videos like this to help you navigate the complicated and expensive world of cloud finance. So, is the savings plan a scam? No, but it is a tool that is way more dangerous than it looks. The promise of a 72% discount is a powerful lure that pulls people into making rigid, long-term commitments with incomplete data. The result is a financial trap that punishes companies who are optimizing their workloads or innovating their architecture. But it doesn't have to be that way. The power dynamic shifts back to you The moment you stop chasing the biggest possible discount and start prioritizing flexibility and control. Just remember the key takeaways. Analyze your data to find your true stable baseline, your usage flow. Commit conservatively, covering only 70 to 80% of that baseline to build in a safety buffer. Favor flexible plans like compute savings plan unless you have extreme confidence in your workload stability. And finally, monitor your commitments regularly. Never set it and forget it. By following this framework, you transform the saving plan from a potential liability into a powerful asset. You'll be making a strategic bet you know you can win, capturing serious savings without handcuffing your future. Now, I've got a question for you. What has been your biggest surprise, good or bad, when dealing with AWS Savings Plan? Drop a comment below. I read every one and I'm genuinely curious to hear what you've seen out in the wild.